We're not doing that.
I feel like I got
oh,
the power.
No, we're not doing that no more.
Oh God.
Okay. Frame it, 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 frame it. Hello, hello. Frame it, 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 frame it. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Freeman XI, and I'm back with another video. Y'all know I don't do reaction videos like that. Y'all know this. I don't do reaction videos. I post gaming content. But this is special right here. You know, I'm a Marvel and a DC fan. You know, when it comes to DC comics, I love reading them things. You know. When it comes to Marvel movies and comics, I love seeing that. I like DC TV shows, you know? Some DC movies like probably The Dark Knight, probably all, but I'm ready to look at these other people's opinions, you know? So we're about to react to Jubilee.
Rick.
My name is Ryan. I'm a philosophy major at university. I studied art history as well. The more I think about it, those things tie in a lot for the reason why I love comics so much.
Hey, I'm Will.
So
I'm
this
a
is
lifelong,
DC side. This
I
is
would
the
say
DC
comic book
side.
fan, but really DC Homer, as my friend would call me. An apologist, some would say, to a certain degree.
So I'm Matt, and I am as well a DC guy. I'm actually trying to get into voice acting and voiceover. Like watching all these animated shows and whatnot, it's really inspiring to see all these characters come to life through voice and whatnot.
Like, no cap, voice acting sounds amazing. I might try that job. Voice acting, it sounds like it can be fun. No cap.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Marvel's pretty much always been like my favorite genre of movies. I love watching all the movies. I really love cinematography and I love how they're always played out. So yeah, I'm a Marvel fan.
I'm Nick, and I like Marvel so much that I bought a 3D printer and started printing a bunch of props for it. So I've got a 4-foot Stormbreaker sitting in my room, not doing anything.
That's hard though.
I'm Chris.
That's weird, but that's
I'm a Marvel
hard.
Fan. I wish I could say super fan. Just within the recent years, I've been getting like deep and deeper into it. So there's some things I may not know about, but I'm cultured around the area, so I can get around.
Marvel is only considered better because of the movies.
Oh.
Unless they're comic book fanatics, I don't hear anybody talking about the comics, let alone the shows, even
Oh,
the
that's
games
good.
or
That's
anything.
good right there,
I only hear
though.
the movies.
Thank you for being the only one here, by the way. Because it is challenging, I think, right now to be a DC fan because of that feeling. Socially, the conversation is Marvel. So extremely that every time DC puts out a movie, it's like almost expected that you're supposed to shit on it.
Right.
Because it's not as good. They did it wrong.
That's not the case. They're just bad.
Now, have they stumbled along the way? Tons of times. But I get this feeling that no one's entering into seeing a DC movie to just be vulnerable and experience what they're being given.
And it's recency bias, right? Because Christopher Reeve with Superman launched, but then you also think about the Batmans with Michael Keaton, right? And Jack Nicholson, and then even Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Maybe not so much after that, you know, but there was no Marvel movies at the time.
The Dark Knight kind of faded into the background when people talk about DC movies. And it's like, those were great films.
Awesome.
I mean, we
Stop it. Nobody, whoever says The Dark Knight is fading in the background is crazy. The Dark Knight is probably one of the best, one of the best superhero movies to come out. And it shows in the box office. Like, it was that movie. It was really good too. So
don't have the Marvel
nobody can ever
Cinematic
forget
Universe,
that.
in my opinion, without Batman Begins.
All right, disagreeers, come forward.
I'm still on your side, you guys.
Did you forget we were here? The movies, the TV shows, the video games, the comic books, the books, when you oversimplify it to one aspect, you're immediately erasing thousands of people's hard work and not giving them the credit that they deserve as they add to the rest of the brand.
I guess I'm thinking, could you
Hold on. I know I'm pausing and talking a lot, but like I need to get some of these facts straight, 'cause I'm not here to say this. You can't really say that you're undermining people's work because you're basically doing the same thing to the DC fans by saying the only thing good about them is their comics. You know, you're undermining the work that they put in those movies. Even though the movies were garbage. They wasn't garbage, they was just bad, you know. Marvel comics, they're not that good. Well, they're not really talked about. There's only one Marvel comic that I like actually like really liked or watched, and that's that I forgot. It's some Spider-Man. It's like
Argue that
the Amazing
simply
Spider. It wasn't the
because of
Amazing
MCU,
Spider-Man. It was
more people care. It used to be that to be a nerd back, even in the 90s,
It was a
because I love
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
run.
X-Men, all
It
that
was a
stuff in the
Spider-Man
90s.
run with,
doing cosplay, when I was doing cosplay, people yelling at me, saying stupid, dressing up in movies, all kinds
It's a
of
Spider-Man run where he unmasked himself and told everybody he was Peter Parker. It's that comic book.
stuff. Now cosplayers get millions of followers, like on Instagram. The MCU actually made nerds cool.
Yeah.
And so when I think of better, I think like, kind of to your point, detracts from all the like suffering of the nerds that got kicked and
I
shoved
had
in
to
their
go
closets.
through this to get here.
So now that the MCU exists, I'm like, oh, now you want to say it's cool. Okay, fine, yeah.
I do believe some of the comics do better than some of the Marvel stuff that is out. Like with all the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man were not good. Like I grew up watching those and I was not a huge fan.
Wait, the 90s?
No,
Maguire?
Yeah, Toby.
What?
I did not.
Sam Raimi?
He's worse than
I see those movies as like corny perfection. It's like
But it's
absolute
corny.
cheese.
Like you said, it's corny.
Right, I love that.
He didn't give me that representation. I'm an awkward teen. He was like a very just dark and like brooding, like more DC. He just was very not.
Hey, yo, she don't pass the vibe check at all, bro. She don't pass the vibe check not one bit. You act like teens aren't dark and brooding. You know, he wasn't even dark and brooding for real. I like that. I mean, when you be too, Uncle Ben got shot. My homie on the floor, he dead. Uncle Ben got popped. You talk about some, he just dark and broody. He's not really a teenager. I mean, like, okay.
Awkward, how I wanted to
Okay.
see Peter Parker.
You're telling me that Spider-Man 3 dance wasn't awkward to you?
That dance was hard. I don't care.
Your generation, especially now, you can see that you guys don't really like the dark, gritty, because right now,
Everyone
everything
wants.
that's going on
Everyone
right
just
now,
wants happy
yeah,
stories.
everything that's going on right now, you don't want to see even darker.
I want
shittier
depression
things. You wanna see-
personified.
Yeah, more whimsical. Yeah, exactly.
I think DC kind of shows people like what they already see in humanity. They're like, wow, are our cities actually like this? Like, is this actually?
Our characters are more relatable.
Let's run real quick. It's just the fact that, especially like me growing up, that I could just look at like these different heroes. Like I was like, I'm not built like no Captain America, but I can relate to him in the heart. It's what
Yeah.
matters. And so I'm just like, just seeing every character. I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh, wait, that could be me. Oh, that could be me. And I'm just like, I've just experienced that with Marvel. And that's how I was just like, let me just run up in here real quick.
Peter Parker and his anxiety. It's so relatable as a teenager and seeing another teenager get all these superpowers. And he's like,
She
I'm
a
just
super
like,
fan. That's probably
I'm
why
just
she's
trying
so
to go to
critical.
school. Like, I need a break.
It's kind of a combination between the comics, the TV shows, the MCU in total. When you humanize a character first and then introduce their abilities, you not only give the audience time to relate to them and attach themselves to the character, but you give them an opportunity to see them superpower, amazingness. Things like that, just make Marvel just a bit more relatable to me.
Welcome.
There is an element to DC that I get, that they are unrelatable. Superman really is the most obvious, because he's overpowered from another planet, all these things. But at the same time, at the core of all that is this unbreakable goodness.
Like Superman, one of the things I always found really endearing is he comes from a different planet, he has unlimited power, but at the same time, once he met Ma and Pa Kent, he fell in love with like the family and being a high schooler and learning how to acclimate. And so at the end of the day, they are dealing with the same human and basic problems and conflicts that we have, you know?
I think that's where Zach really tried to tie it all in. It's with that Batman vs Superman. DC fans hated. They were not about it. And it's just like,
Don't worry, we did too.
everyone hated it. Exactly. People
I didn't hate it,
were not
you know?
a fan of it, but it's just like he tried to humanize these characters.
That's the only bad
that was
part.
really
That little Martha
an important
jump.
step to take.
That was so
because
weird. Like,
with Superman, Batman,
why would
they
you
were
do
never
that?
shown to have a breaking point or be they showed up as the villain.
Fallible
essentially.
too, yeah.
Yeah, but also going back to representation and relatability, like, you know, Asian. Not many Asian superheroes, but, you know, with Shang Tsung and all these other characters, I would give props to Marvel.
Shang-Chi.
As long as it's not forced.
Man said Shang Tsung.
Shoved down people's. That's right.
Barely talking about some Mortal Kombat.
As long as it's not shoved down people's throats and like you're gonna have to digest this.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for it.
When you guys did bring up Peter Parker and Spider-Man, stuff like that, me being from New York, and so I was just like, I see him and I see me. At the time, I was like, oh, you know what? I want to go to this college too, and I want to go here, and I want to do that. And I'm like, you know what? Hopefully, do get bit by a spider on the way there. So I'm just like, okay, cool.
I genuinely, as a kid, and like having what I felt like my own superhero backstory was like losing a parent at a young age, being kind of a caretaker to her, my mom, when I was 15, and still losing that person, it rewired in my brain many things, one of which was take care of other people and put yourself second, put everybody else first. 2, never show the crack in that it's actually crippling you trying to be perfect. Because I did always try to say like, when you see me, you're gonna be like, how does he just fly through life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was healthy, wasn't. And then once I realized that I actually could be vulnerable, I could be broken, and that being broken is more beautiful and makes you more powerful, that sort of opened up the floodgates of finding those things in the DC characters. And I think the writers, especially now in comics, are going that route.
My fan community can be toxic.
Yeah, y'all might as well everybody step up.
Do you want to talk about a no-brainer question?
I was gonna say, I think we could all agree that every fan can be toxic.
Even if it's something as simple as, you know, someone's title changing or someone becoming a new hero, you immediately get the people on Twitter just being like, I hate this person. I honestly feel really bad for Brie Larson because she got the brunt of it during that whole Captain Marvel phase. And personally, I liked her. I think she's a great actress. I think she's.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I'm not a big
I didn't understand that either.
But I was like, this is fun. I don't want to know why people hate
Exactly.
her so much.
It's like when you dehumanize the actor and treat them as they're only that.
Right.
That's not being a fan.
Yeah.
That's being an ass.
I remember when Black Panther came out, a lot of people refused to see it because they said it's a PC movie.
Exactly.
It's like there's so much vitriol in different corners. I like to believe it's not most people, but like the loudest voices on social media are like always there. Yeah,
Always.
exactly.
Because those are the ones that get attention.
Right.
Yeah, even the Black Panther, anything like this is supposed to be a Black Superman coming out, and people are
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
like,
I heard
oh yeah,
about that.
that's born of the political correctness. But there's been iterations of
Well,
Black
also,
Superman.
it's comic books, so why not?
Yeah, it's like it's not only limited to just white people. And
There's a
like,
multiverse for a reason.
Yeah, it's a multiverse, exactly.
Well, I get toxicity
Exactly.
on my end just for being a girl. And like you guys are
I can't even
predominantly,
imagine that.
I mean, it's all males.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never been like directly targeted at, but I definitely do get the sense of like, oh, you're a female? You don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea. Oh, you're younger?
Yeesh.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeesh.
I really probably could have came with everybody. I think the only reason why I didn't was because it was prefaced by saying my community. I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Instagram, and so I'm ignorant to it, I guess is what it is.
Oh,
But I had a
Twitter's
weird
bad,
situation,
man.
I was
Twitter's
I guess, more in
bad.
the jock category growing up in the sense of that was more my reputation, I suppose. But anyone who knew me and any of my friends came over to my house, like when I started dating, like in high school, and the girls came over to my house, I had action figures everywhere. You know, so the jig was up, you know what I mean? And like, you know, this is really who I am and what I'm really about. And I always found I got a great reaction from that. I think if people buy too much into the toxic nature of Marvel versus DC or whatever the movie is and their gripes on it, they're losing a chance to focus on the positive of the character and why they love it.
My side would win in a fight.
I'm going for it. Yeah. Oh, wow, they know too.
They know.
It's good, they know what's up.
They know the place.
I think that's why the conversation is Marvel connects more with like the real person, because DC does feel like titans. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to me, comic books are American mythology. I heard that somewhere in a documentary, and it's true. You know, we don't have like an American mythos outside of like Paul Bunyan and like some silly stuff. It's superheroes is really what it is. Yeah. And Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, these like, you know, Atlas holding the world on their shoulders figures, it's like, it's always them. Batman's like plan to defeat everyone is just, I'm Batman. Yeah. And everyone on Earth goes, he's right.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Man,
that's not fair.
To the brass of it, you know, pissed off Superman, good luck. Someone taking out the big dog, you know.
I always see these videos on YouTube like, oh yeah, Superman versus Hulk, or Batman versus Iron Man. And it's like, it's all made up. People have their own
and listen, until Superman fights Goku, we know that's the real
See, we're not.
I really want to see that Iron Man versus Batman, bro.
I mean, this isn't even a question. Like, the Justice League is way overpowered. Like, way overpowered.
Right.
I would just say
You got
the
two
brutality
Superman
is a
on
lot
there,
more
bro.
Severe.
Got
compared to
Shazam and
Marvel
Superman.
characters. That was like the only thing that came to mind. I was saying the MCU is a little bit more light and fluffy, so they have a little bit more humanistic like thoughts, and I just feel like they would completely just destroy them. Unfortunately. Yeah.
I guess my only question would be, you know, if you want to pit one person against another person, you know, the whole argument that I hear a lot with, you know, DC fans is Batman with prep time.
always wins.
What is that argument? Because he's just a dude.
I've never made that argument because honestly, the argument is usually he's already had the prep time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's always the twist. Is
So you
everyone's
just
like,
assume he's already figured it
Batman's
out?
prepared for every
Yeah.
his mind is like, I've calculated
He's
17
supposed
million
to be
outcomes.
prepared, yeah.
Like if
He's
they,
Doctor Strange essentially.
he's Doctor
without the
Strange.
time.
Yeah, like if
okay.
they were together in a movie and Doctor Strange was like, I saw these outcomes, he'd be like, yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And as a reader too, not just a viewer, I do get bored of that. You know what I mean? Because then there's almost no stakes. It's just like Batman knew all along. I was like, oh cool, so it didn't even matter, you know?
What I liked about Infinity War and the Snyder Cut was the level of dread you felt for the characters and what they were having to go through.
That Snyder Cut was amazing,
and
bro.
their goal was not ultimately met, especially with Infinity. I got so emotional at Infinity War, and my head literally hurt after watching that. Like having the characters be vulnerable, like not having them at their peak, is very important.
Bro, y'all can't tell me if you're a real Marvel fan or like I like one of them people that cry at movies, bro. I ain't cry, I almost did. When Spider-Man died, bro, you like, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. I was like, dang. They got him.
Important for the
crazy.
audience to be able to relate.
Scorsese said Marvel movies are not cinema. Step forward if you agree.
What does that mean?
Now step forward if you disagree.
Well, what does he know about making movies? Right? I think we all are going to disagree pretty heavy with that one. If you look at not just the numbers and not just the worldwide success, but also the stories and the emotions and the ebb and flow of the storytelling. I think they're definitely not only cinematic, but some of the best examples of art that a worldwide audience of different ages and a lot of different people can come together and watch and enjoy. You know, where maybe sometimes a more boutique or
I still don't understand what that question means at all.
I think the second you try to put ground rules on what art is, you fundamentally don't understand. You're missing the point of art.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Like, how do you define cinema?
Right.
You can't.
Right.
There's no, you know, cookie cutter definition of, oh, okay, this movie is cinema, but like Shrek 2 is not. Like, it's
High cinema.
What is cinema?
but it's
What
it's
the
that
heck
type
is
of thing where
cinema?
if you decide that things have limits, you're already not only limiting the audience, but you're limiting creative freedom. You know, if someone comes along and says, oh, that's not cinema, what are you telling the future filmmakers? That what they want to do is,
Well, I can't do this.
considered cinema, you're immediately, you know, trashing what these new people want to do.
It brings people together is the biggest thing. I think a cinema can do that. Yeah, you're right.
Almost every movie is art
Me
though,
and my
for
dad
real.
watch it together. Me and my mom, me and my friends, and we're all different ages. That's like the point of cinema. So.
Group hug, everybody. Group hug. Bringing it out, buddy. Bringing it out.
I don't think everybody want a group hug, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you. Good conversation.
Good job, boys.
Yeah. That'll be the end of the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, comment on what you want me to react to next. It's being boy Freeman. I'm out. Peace.
And you know that's my brother. Forever. You know that's my brother. You know we got each other. Me and him and yes, whoever.